Hey everybody, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. What I wanted to talk about today is weight maintenance. So are you guys ready to hear me talk about something that isn't that sexy? Are you guys ready to hear me talk about something that isn't that exciting, but is yet still really important? Are you ready for me to stop pointing at the camera and talking like an asshole? Well, lucky you then, guys, because today, it is definitely not a sexy topic, but it is one that I think is vastly important. And it's weight maintenance. And it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot because it's not something that's sexy, right? So on this Monday, I want to talk a little bit about weight maintenance. Now, we like to emphasize weight loss, right? We really like to emphasize weight gain. But with both those things, we need to have that end goal of weight maintenance in mind as well. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. If you lose weight and you can't maintain said lower weight or maintain a lower weight, well, hard to really justify that, right? And we call that yo-yo dieting. We know that, right? If we are trying to be a power lifter or we're trying to move up a weight class and we gain weight but we can't maintain that, right? We can't maintain said higher body weight. Well, that's, again, kind of a moot point, right? We're right back to where we started. So we want to have these healthy goals in terms of weight loss, weight gain, and weight management and maintenance. Weight maintenance is probably the most overlooked thing on a regular basis that I deal with. Um, a lot of people are very, very good at saying, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. Hey, I want to lose 15 pounds. Hey, I want to get to said body weight. Not a lot of people are as good about thinking, hey, I want to get to said body weight and then work to make sure I can stay at said body weight. I think it's a couple things. It's a little bit multifaceted here. It's one, we're kind of brought up and we're sort of socially, we learn to have very, short-sighted expectations, goals, and vision, right? And so we see something we want, we look directly at that one thing. And so very rarely, and I am just as guilty of this as anyone else, but very rarely do we look at something and say, hey, I want this goal, and then stop, take a moment, sit down, and say, okay, what am I going to have to do to get to this goal? What is it going to cost me? What am I going to have to give up? And what am I going to have to do if I want to maintain that goal? A lot of time we think of the idea of getting it, right? And we can think about this in relationships as well, right? And we see it very, very regularly. It's a lot of the time it's about getting that person. We see something that we want. We see somebody that has something that makes us feel a certain way. We say we want to get that person. Well, that's great. Once you've got them, now are you looking at what you have to do to keep them? We should be looking at really most of our life goals in that same manner, right? So it's not just about getting to that point, getting that thing we want, but it's also about keeping it, maintaining, right? And sometimes we realize that through our pursuits of things that maybe maintaining it is not worth the effort, right? So maybe something like trying to maintain staying stage lean is not worth the effort, right? Maybe we want to have a little bit more freedom in terms of our macronutrient intakes. Maybe we want to have a little bit more freedom in terms of untracked meals or even intuitive eating and just lifestyle stuff. That's fine. Some of us don't. That's also fine. I think that understanding the truth of being stage lean, trying to stay super, super duper lean, you're going to give up making a lot of good progress. But if the real, if the honest truth of maintaining that, you understand that well, then you can make a decision that's, right for you. So I will tell you this, that if you are a physique athlete and you are trying to stay stage lean and you are trying to get better, you are doing yourself a disservice. It is definitely much better to put on a little bit of body fat, give your body some healthy hormonal levels, some cushioning, and make some progress there, right? allow yourself to be in a calorie surplus. Um, but what does maintenance really entail? And I think this is a part that a lot of us have a hard time with, because maintenance, like the goal of maintenance, it's there is no end, right? There's no finish line. There's no like, hey, it's finally over kind of thing. And I think that's why people do so well with the goal of dieting. That's why people do so well with the goal of trying to get on stage. Um, it gives us an end point, right? It gives us a set goal. When we have that set marker psychologically, it's a lot easier to say, well, I just have a few more weeks. I just have a few more pounds. I just have this. I just have that. Whereas in maintenance, we now have to figure out a way to make this part of our lifestyle, to make this part of our day-to-day routine, so that we can be successful long term. And so weight maintenance means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But let's talk about just a general person that's losing weight, and you can sort of imagine that this gets, on one end of the spectrum or the other, depending, right? Say we've lost 20, 30 pounds, right? We're down to a healthy weight now. We're not super stage lean. We're not in a place of unhealthily low body fat levels. But we're in a good place. We feel good. We're performing well. We feel good about ourselves. That's a really important one too. And so now we say, okay, how do I maintain this? Because what I did to diet to get here, that might not be realistic, right? Especially if you've done a crash diet, say you're doing 900 calories or 1,000 calories a day, and it's just not realistic for your lifestyle in general. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are getting you back to a place where you can maintain, or at least maintain as closely as possible to. And my camera battery died, so sorry about that, guys. But we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up in the best possible place to long-term maintain new healthy weight, but also maintain lifestyle as well. So what it means is a little bit more look down the road, right? So we just want to pay a little bit more attention to the long-term aspects of what it really means. So making sure that we're setting ourselves up to the reverse diet, giving ourselves the mental preparation of the reverse diet, and sort of having a timeline, right? So I think the hardest part of the reverse diet is that there is no set or definite timeline. We're probably going to put on some body weight. The goal is obviously to maintain, but we're definitely going to put on weight if we're going to get stronger. We're going to put on a little bit of body fat, right? So we're not going to maintain quite as low as we got. That sucks, but part of the process for the vast majority of people, myself included. And understanding that, it's going to take time, and we have to be very, very diligent in how we maintain it, especially coming out of the harshest part of the diet. So the further away we get from the end of the diet, right, the better we are, because the slower we've worked up calories, the more wiggle room we have, right? That helps with everything. But we have to make sure that we're paying attention to it, right? The big problem is not that people have a hard time losing weight. We're really good at losing weight. The big problem is that we have a hard time keeping weight off and maintaining weight. And so remember that there are multiple things that can still happen. Like, you can maintain your weight and still improve body composition, right? We see it on a pretty regular basis. It just takes a little bit longer a lot of the times, but we can still make improvements, right? The big thing is that if we are maintaining our weight, we typically tend to be in a healthy place in terms of blood stuff, body, right? Because although I might look healthy on the outside, that doesn't give you any indication of how healthy I am on the inside, right? So weight maintenance is always a great place to start. So guys, I know it's not a sexy topic. I know it's not something that a lot of people talk about very often, but it's something that I think bears mention at least every so often. So keep it on your mind. Weight maintenance matters. All right, guys? So anyways, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.